Hey Gerard, just reading your post, one of the things that stood out to me very quickly was that you and I were in the same, had the same ideology in terms of like the training and everything. Um, yeah, realistically, I think training does a lot to help, and having almost like a certain level of required CEUs specifically around. Um, Crisis response is incredibly important. Right now, it seems like there really isn't a lot of CEUs for crisis response, and usually mobile crisis, believe it or not, in a lot of different states. I know that it's this way in my state. It doesn't even require you to have a license. You just need to have your bachelor's degree. And in some cases, you just need to have a high school diploma and some training, and then you can qualify as a mobile crisis specialist that are being sent into very difficult situations. And the idea there is that they're not really meant to do any assessments, and they're just meant to help stabilize and get that person in the mode. And they do a lot of like level A screenings that really don't require you to have a license, but it gives you that baseline understanding where that individual is. And then once they take those next steps, now they bring them in and they start to put them down the chain. But when you're looking at Oh, and also before I almost forgot, these mobile crisis specialists are also overseen by licensed professionals. So it's like if it does rise up to that occasion, then the licensed professional will get involved. I don't really like that setup, mainly because I feel like there's something lost there, and there's too many points for something to go wrong. So especially when we are establishing some type of competency, or even just creating this system that becomes a little bit more equitable for all those involved, having a counselor who is volunteering, who can do those assessments. I think the competency piece of that would be in utilizing best practices in order to have a particular assessment that is streamlined and that they're able to use. The one that I think it works the best is the NIBIDA risk assessment, especially when you're in a crisis, because there's only 4 levels to the risk assessment, and with that, they're very distinct. So if an individual doesn't even if the individual is just simply saying things that can be taken, so for example, like, oh, I just wish I wasn't here, or, oh, I wish I was the person that had the tree collapse on them rather than be the person standing. If they say something like that, then there's just a series of questions that you ask very, very quickly, and it can be seamlessly interwoven into a conversation, and within a matter of 10 to 15 seconds where that person lies, and within that there could be fail safes. So the structure itself could have, when you're applying it to a disaster response, could have fail safes in there. So if they reach a level 2 or a level 3, this is who they need to contact immediately. And then as they go to a safer spot, as they do whatever, the follow-up sessions while their primary needs are being met, are going to be directly focused on addressing those secondary and tertiary needs. Because at the end of the day, it really does seem like a lot of people don't, at the end of the day, it really does seem like a lot of people don't really focus on those needs as much. Like, I don't think mental health is part of that primary need, but as professionals, if we are pushing that within it, it makes a world of difference as a whole. You know, so it, you also mentioned a Go kit for counselors, and I think that's a really wonderful idea. I've seen that implemented in various different things, especially in a rural setting. Go kits are a lifesaver because you just have everything there and you just go, and whatever you're dealing with, there usually is something within that kit that helps. In our Go kits that we utilize, a lot of it is like we have blankets, and people really like those blankets because it gives them something to hold on to, for them to feel comfortable. And as we start talking about different things, then we're able to get that person out of that state of crisis and help them a little bit better. So that's where we go. The one point I disagree with is a law punishing self-deployment. I don't. The reason why I disagree with it is because even in regular situations, there is that good Samaritan standpoint where if you're going in because you feel like you can help and you have the credentialing to help, then we shouldn't really punish that. I think education is the best way to go, and I think having a hierarchy and maybe instead of there being a law that says that that you're punished, maybe for crisis response specifically, there's a registry that individuals can sign on to and say like, okay, like I'm going to be a registered crisis specialist, and then from there they're put on a short list that deploys them in different areas, and it becomes more of a regimented thing, similar to the Coast Guard or something like that, where you're all together and you all work on the weekends, and then there is a crisis, you all get deployed at the same time. So great post. So yeah, I really enjoyed reading it.